And everybody always talked about Henderson or Esposito or Ellis or White. You always heard the names, right? And they had no significance to a young Canadian until you became a part of the fabric of the Canadian culture. As you grow up to be Canadian, I don't know when that magic happens. It doesn't happen when they give you a card. I think it happens when you lace up skates and you become a part of the ice and the fabric of the Canadian identity. You take a great pride in being Canadian. I lived in the States for 20 years, and there were no more shining moments than when Canada had an opportunity to do something on the national sporting stage. And this is one of those events that is transcended time and is legendary. It makes me proud to be Canadian, and I'm happy to be a part of this occasion. I should share with you a little bit about what this building is. I get a lot of the credit for helping to get it where it was, but let me assure you, when the building first started in its iteration, there were 3 iterations of what this building was. And what you see here is none of those original drafts. The first iteration of the building had a gymnasium and a giant field house. We were going to play soccer in this building, and we were going to have a gymnasium. I remember coming to Sheldon, and we were having a little conversation. Our president, was 4 of us, and the comment was, "We will be crucified if we bring back Maple Leaf Gardens and put no ice in this building." Right? We will be crucified. And so that idea went out. And so then the other 3 additions came, and we had a rink in this building. And the rink would have been over to the left, and the gymnasium would have been over to the right. And over the rink and the gymnasium would have been a turf field. We would have never been able to see the jewel of this building. To me, the great jewel of this building is when you stand on center ice or on the concourse, and you're able to see the cathedralness of the ceiling. It is magic. When it's lit up or when it's dark, when you look in there and you realize, wow, we are walking down through the trusses. We are in the roof of this building. That's where this building has its moment of wow. I think if you have a chance and you're able to see it from that end and look up and into that, it does have a little bit of a church feeling. My president always calls it the church on church. I think for some of us that may be true. Enough about the what we'll call the concrete and the cement of this building. I think it's important for everybody to understand what makes this building so special to so many Canadians. My dad used to always play a game called Remember When, right? And I think what makes a building really special is what our remember whens are. Do you remember when you scored your first professional goal? Or do you remember when you got the phone call to say, hey, you've made it? Do you remember when your mom or your dad came and you came up to the building and you could smell the smell of the hot dogs or the popcorn? Everybody has a moment like that crystallizes this building to them. And it's that memory that makes this building special. At the end of the day, it's the relationship. We all have a moment and a remember when that anchors us to this great building. It is only that, concrete and cement. What makes it so special are the opportunities. These gentlemen, along with their teammates, created probably one of the most significant remember whens for us proud Canadians. It's a debt of that gratitude we owe to them because it helps shape our national identity. But there are little remember whens that we all have. For mine, it was Wayne Gretzky signing my hand because I was a crazy kid, brought no paper, and I wanted my hand sized because then I took that home and of course, like every proud 9-year-old or 10-year-old son, did not wash that hand for about 3 weeks, much to my parents' chagrin. I also want to share with you what I think is a really important part of why we built this building. I've been a proud educator for about 20 years now. I've been a professor and a soccer coach and an avid, I'll say, sports enthusiast. I don't remember my first winning game. I do not remember, for me, what my winning or loss record is. But I do remember my teammates, and I do remember the relationships I've made. This building is built to serve the community. And whether that community is our Ryerson students or the greater Canadian Toronto and neighborhood community, or if we're lucky enough to host a game as significant as that in the future, it is meant to serve those beyond the sport of hockey. Even though we are here for that important event, it is meant to be a place that enriches the educational experience of all those that come before us and hopefully after us. If we've done a great job, our legacy will be, why did you build this building with only 2,800 seats? Why did you build only a rink and why not a gym bigger? We will have, if I'm lucky enough, a cultural mosaic that sits in that seats that celebrates the true Canadian pastime. And more importantly, if I'm lucky enough, everybody will be grateful for the opportunity. This is where they got their first, whether it is experience as a hockey fan or experience as an ice skating fan or experience down in the fitness center or the gymnasium. We will inspire others to follow along the footsteps, whether it is to become a professional athlete or, more importantly, become an educator that enriches the lives of others. The university has a simple mission for me, that is add value to the community. This is one building that we have brought, designed and developed, and we've given back to the community to enjoy. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak in front of you. I know that I am not the star of today, these young men are, and I look forward to hearing the stories